In Lesson 3, I'm going to show you how to insert images in the drop-down menu. Now, I'm only going to show you two ways to insert an image, but know that there are more than just the two ways that I'm going to show you. I'm also going to show you the functions of the drop-down menu. So I'm going to add a new page, and I'm going to go to the gallery. So if I wanted to add a picture of a cat, I could go up here to my search and notice that it's highlighted, and I could just type in cat and then click enter or search. And down here I've got 50 images of cats, or well, it says it is. I'm sure we'll find that some of these images don't have anything to do with cats. Um, because what happens is they'll take the word cat and notice there's catfish, cattail, catcher, and so forth. But let's just say that I liked this cat, and so I wanted this cat to be in my notebook. Well, I could just select it and notice that it has a little drop-down menu, and so I could click on it and say Insert in Notebook. So I could click on it, and there it comes into my notebook. Another way to get the picture in there is to just take the picture, select it, and just drag it in to your notebook as well. So that's one way to insert a picture. Another way to insert is to go to Insert and a picture file. Now I've got pictures on here. Let me go to my pictures right here. And I've got some different pictures. I mean, I could do um, this picture of the kids reading a book. So I've highlighted it and pressed open. And so there you see a picture of the kids reading, and it is in my Smart Notebook. I could go back to insert. Now notice that it says a picture from a scanner. I could do that if you have a scanner hooked to your computer. You could click, you could do that. You can also do a picture from your smart document camera. I'm going to assume you can do the same thing with the lumens. I've not ever done that before, but I'm sure you can do it just as easily with that as you could a smart document camera. So know that those are some of the ways to insert a picture. Now, I want to use my drop-down menu, and so I'm going to select this picture. And what I mean by drop-down menu is notice that as this is selected, you have an arrow here. So if you click on that arrow, you'll have options for this picture. Lots of options that you can choose from. You have clone, cut, copy, paste, delete, set picture transparency. You've got locking, flip, order, infinite clone, link, sound, and properties. So what I'm going to do, a lot of times, and I'm really bad about this because I don't like um, my pictures to have the white box around it. It gets on my nerves. So I'm going to show you how I can get rid of that white box. If I click on my drop down menu and go to set picture transparency, then notice that my picture comes up, and I can take my eyedropper and click on the white areas, and it will take away the white part. I love this feature. Now every once in a while it doesn't work perfectly because of the picture itself, and there's really not a whole lot you can do about it. Every once in a while I can make it with my capture tool, make it better, and I can show you that later. And press OK. So my white's gone. Of course you can't tell because I have a white background, but trust me, it's gone. Now I'm going to show you this. Notice that if I clicked on this cat um, and did my set picture transparency, that there is no white around it, and that's because it came from the gallery. It does have the shadow, and if you didn't want the shadow, you could click on those and get rid of those if you wanted to. Now notice here how I clicked on it and it still has that one little bit of line. I mean, you can usually get close to it and get rid of it like that. So now the shadow is gone. Now I'm not sure if I can get rid of that blue. I think I can, yeah. I can get rid of that blue if I want it. I don't like the blue around it, so I got rid of it. Now notice that it has the box around it, and I could get rid of that with my capture tool. So um, I'll show you that later. So let's say that I wanted to clone this picture. Clone just means you're going to get a duplicate. So there I have another copy of my cat. I can cut that if I don't want it. I can copy and then paste. I can copy it and paste it that way too, so I don't have to just paste it um, up here on my icons. I can lock it in place. I can also unlock it or allow it to move. It's still locked, but I can still move it around. And that's nice if you don't, sometimes when the kids get up and they start touching the board, things will disappear. It just happens. And so if you lock them, but you still allow them to move, then they're not going to delete them on accident, but it still allows them to move the pictures around if you need to. Another feature is the flip feature. If I wanted to flip this around, notice how his tail is now different. I can also flip it up and down. So now he's upside down if I wanted it that way. And I've used this before when I'm designing lessons and stuff. Of course, it might be good even when you're teaching flips and turns and stuff, lesson on that. Um, let's talk about order. Notice I can send, these are, think about this as layers. So if I were going to pile these on top of each other, whatever I put in there first is what you're going to see at the bottom. Now let's say that I want my upside down cat in the back. I can click on that cat and I can send it to the back. And now he's back there. So if I move these around, which I'm going to have to do it one at a time, notice that my upside down cat is at the bottom. Um, let's say I want the boy and the girl to move up to the front. I can do that as well. And you will use order quite a bit, especially with text. And as you design your pages, you'll think, oh, I really want this here, or as you move things around. So order is something that you'll probably use quite often. One of my favorite parts of Smart is the infinite clone. And if I right click and go to infinite clone, this allows me to just make as many cats as I want. I can just infinitely clone these over and over and over again. This is very handy when you're doing money because you don't want like 10 dimes and 20 quarters on your page if you're trying to count money or something like that. So, and I'm sure there's, I mean, I've made counters for, counting. Um, I've used Infinite Clone many times, like a highlighter tape and so forth, and we'll talk more about that in other lessons. Um, Also, you can link the cat to a web page. Let's say I wanted to go to starfall.com. I can link my cat to that website, and if I clicked on it, it would take me to the website. So that's a nice feature. Notice you want everything to be at your fingertips, which is very, very important. You can also link to a page in this file. So notice that I only have 2 pages. So if I wanted to link it to the first page, I could just click on this. Um, I can also click, like you can select your last page, next page, previous page, or so forth. So if I wanted to do that, I could. I can also link it to a file on this computer and browse, and I'll talk more about linking later, but you can definitely link um, your objects. And then you also have your current attachments, which we don't have anything right now. You can link sound, just going through and looking through your documents for music. Got lots of different music that I can link it to. And then your properties, I can actually create this and make it more transparent like this. So it's transparent as I want it to be. I can also animate it. I'm not going to teach you how to do that on this, but know that you can do it. Um, so that's pretty cool as well. And that is your drop-down menu. So you've learned how to insert pictures and use your drop-down menu and all of its functions.